Hello everybody and welcome back to INSANEBRIT Gaming. I'm the INSANEBRIT and this is this week's News Friday, where I talk about all the week's gaming news, gaming topics and some anime news as well. So my first story this week is Nintendo are suing a company for emulating their games. They've already shut down a company for emulating them, basically allowing you to download the files of their particular franchises such as Mario and whatever else Nintendo do, which of course they're not happy about. They're going after a parent company. I don't know the name of it, but they run two separate websites that do this. They get 17 million hits per month on their actual websites. Of course, Nintendo's upset about this, saying that you've built a whole business around downloading our content, which you haven't paid for and they haven't paid for, and they're not happy about it, etc., etc., which is quite understandable at this point. They're suing for $150,000 per game, which reaches around to about $100 million, which of course is going to scare any company off. It ain't worth it unless you're Bill Gates or someone like that, you know what I mean, who can just pay and just walk away and laugh about it. No. So I assume I think these two websites are going to be shut down. Pretty much is essentially what's going to happen there, because like I said, Nintendo has every right to do this. Of course, we know what Nintendo's like when it comes to actually guarding their property in respects to who can even play it on YouTube. You have to be part of a special program where you cannot even criticize their games. So it is what it is, and it comes to no surprise to me. For me, they're pretty much done for. These two companies, I don't know what argument they can come up with to survive. I don't see them surviving it. Next up is No Man's Sky. Now this poses more of an ethical question, and I'll get into that as well. So basically, No Man's Sky was a game that was overhyped and said it was going to have this, and this, and it basically delivered on none of it, including multiplayer. Now, after about a year or two, they've updated the game, a hell of a lot of updates. They've added in multiplayer. They're going to do a patch called 1 point something or other, and it's going to give multiplayer. It's got more vehicles in it, more planets you can explore, you can do this, you can do that. A whole slew of stuff that essentially should have been in the game and makes it supposedly worth it now if you decide to pick it up. Now, I was asked this question by Chaos. Should you support a company that fucked up in the first place but try to rectify it? Should you still support them or go and buy their game or whatever it is? Now, of course, this depends on, it goes with individuality. Basically, if you like the game enough to play it, or want to play it, or like it enough, or are willing to forgive, and that just basically depends on each individual person. I'm not going to chastise anyone who decides to go and pick up the game. Personally, the game did not interest me in the beginning. It had a cool concept, but it failed to deliver, and meh to me. I don't really care about the game one way or the other. So they've updated it and given you what they promised to deliver, even though it's 2 years late. Now, if you kept on hold of that game, you can just pop the disc in and you can download all the free updates, and you'll have the full game essentially, or what it should have been, instead of actually a beta or whatever. If not, you can buy it at a knockdown price, and you'll get all those benefits as well. So it's up to you. I think on the PSN store right now, as of now, it is £15. They've got the PSN sale one, so if you want to buy that, then by all means. But of course, check out the gameplay before you buy it, because you don't want to buy something and then you don't like the game. So go on YouTube and just check that. I haven't played it personally, so you won't find it on my channel. But I have seen it, and I'm not that impressed with it, so I don't intend on picking it up regardless. Having said that, I pose it to you as well. Should you support, or will you support a game that fucked up in the beginning and then made itself better? Me personally, and I'll give you a list of games who have done this as well. Me personally, I have not done a couple of these specific games I'm about to mention. They've had two things in common. They fucked up and I haven't got them. So you look at No Man's Sky. Didn't really interest me anyway, but whatever. Mass Effect Andromeda. I played the second one, didn't really like it that much, but I wasn't going to buy it, but they still fucked up. Won't support them. Destiny, I bought that. They fucked up, tried to sell me a story later on. I was like, fuck you. They came out with the second one. I haven't bought it. I'm not buying it. Point blank. And Star Wars, a game I generally was interested in picking up and playing and buying, the Star Wars Battlefront 2, sorry. And they fucked that up as well with all their loot crates and their bullshit, so I won't support them either. I used to say that I will not support certain companies anymore if they do this or do that, and while it's okay, or to a point for the indie, you can say that for whatever company you want to. Having said that, I've changed my stance a little bit on that, and I decided to more or less, because I'm going to be buying Andromeda, not Andromeda, Anthem Sorry, and that's made by EA, but it's also made by the guys that make Mass Effect. So it's kind of, you know, hypocritical there in that respect to say, oh, I'm going to boycott it and then go buy Anthem. So personally, I've changed my stance on it, and I'm going to base it on each individual game, which I think is a fairer way of doing it and a more logical way of doing it. So basically, if you fuck up and I don't like what you've done, I will just not care about that game and not support that particular franchise that you're doing. That's just my general opinion. You may feel different. It's up to you one way or the other. So basically, it depends on the individual if you're willing to forgive and forget if they fix the game or not. It's just based down to you. Basically, the other side of it was basically if you don't support that game after they fuck up, then what is their incentive to then rectify the game in itself? What is it, like, what's their incentive? Because if you're sending a message that if you fuck up once, we're not going to support your game, they've got no incentive to fix it. Well, I'd still disagree with that statement, because they do have a care and a sense of duty, because the world is watching, regardless. Even though I don't care about No Man's Sky, I still know the news. I hear the news in the industry that they've decided to do something good, and good for them, you know what I mean? But if they say, fuck you, no, we're not going to bother with it, it is what it is, then it's going to look even shittier, and no one will support their actual team or the company itself overall. Even the existing fans will be very pissed off. So they have a sense of duty of care there. So, you know, it is what it is. So basically, I would say, look at each individual game and make your own choices. Having said that, I was also posed the question, what if it was FIFA? I'm a fanboy of FIFA, and if they fuck up, I simply said I would call them out on it, like I always do. On any game that I like or don't like or whatever, or they do something shitty, I will call them out on it, regardless if I love it or not. I'm not going to hide the fact that they made a mistake, and I say, this is what needs to be improved, I don't like this, I don't like that. And at the end of the day, I will just send out my message, and whoever pays attention to what I say will make their own decision anyway, regardless. That's what I always, you know, promote, free thinking. I may have my opinion, you don't have to necessarily agree with it, and you make your own choices, you know what I mean? So it's up to you. Personally, good for them for rectifying the situation. Personally, I'm not going to be buying it. Let me know in the comment section if you are happy to, you know, pick up a game that's rectified itself or done good in the end, or you just won't support that franchise. It's up to you. Next story I have is Spyro. Now, this is kind of funny to me, because I hear a lot of people bitching about this, or fighting for this argument specifically. Spyro the Dragon Reignited, the trilogy that's coming out soon, I believe, will only have the first game on disc, right? Get this. It's been revealed that Spyro the Dragon Reignited trilogy is bizarrely only to have the first game on the disc. Spotted on the game's website's fine print, it clearly states that Game 2 and 3 require download via the internet, meaning Spyro 2, Riptide Rage, and Spyro 3, Year of the Dragon, will need to be downloaded before you can play them. It isn't clear how big of the size of the game, but you can only imagine it won't be small. I personally do think they'll be quite small. I think these are older games anyway, they've been remastered. I can't see them being more than 15 GB each or 8 GB each. I'm going to say 15. Give them that 15. So I don't think it's going to be that big compared to what some games are. Like, Jesus Christ. I've had like Call of Duty 60 GB. I think GTA was 80. I know they're open world games, but you know what I mean. So 15 is nothing compared to what those games are. Okay, so basically you need to be downloaded before you can play them. It isn't clear. Alright, so I've read that part. Sorry, my mistake. The global launch of Spyro date is September, September 21st, and we are excited for fans to play all the 3 United games on the day. As with most games today, downloading an update after purchase is quite common. The language in the packaging and on the web is to let players know that the requirements for Spyro Reignited Trilogy. It's likely that Toys for Bob are working hard to finalise Spyro 2 and 3 and won't be able to get them finished in time for the print on the disc. It's uncommon for content to be left off the disc in this day and age, but for a game like Spyro, where many casual gamers will be purchasing it, is a little shocking. All in all, Spyro Trilogy is looking pretty damn good, so blah, 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 blah. Okay, so basically what they're saying is that it will not be, the 2 existing games, or 2 and 3, will not be able to be ready to be printed onto the disc at the time. But in that theory, you would just been, you would delay the launch date. But for whatever reason, they don't want to do that, and they decided to say they're downloadable anyway. Now, a lot of people say, and even Xbox, and I laugh at that shit, Xbox go, download's the future, man, future of downloading games is great, blah, 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 blah. And then I've got an article here saying how tragic it is that you have to download 2 and 3. Pretty fucking ironic. I've had this argument, it's the same argument, so I'll just repeat myself just to clarify what I think of it. I like physical copies of games because I can do the following. I can trade them in, I can swap them with friends, or just say, hey, borrow that game so you don't have to buy it, and then go and enjoy yourself. And that's why I like physical copies, but also it has more, all the memory is on the disc, and I don't have to download it onto my console using more memory on either 1 terabyte a hard drive, but a lot of people have the 500 gigabyte one, and with other games and stuff, it goes pretty quickly, and it's just frustrating to wait hours and hours and hours to re-download games and install them and all that shit. So it is what it is. I personally, you know, prefer the physical copies for those particular reasons. I only download games on 2 occasions, and that is basically if they're super cheap, if the PSN store is having a sale, or Xbox or whatever it is, or they're giving me for free on the PSN network or whatever. Those are the only 2 incidences where I actually download games. And having said that, 2 of the biggest franchises ever in Halo and Gears, all those games that you got HD'd up recently, when you bought the Master Chief Collection or whatever, you had to download those games as well. So I don't see the problem. I really find it ironic that they're talking about it, when considering that most people argue the case point that downloads the future, and I can't stand that shit. It pisses me off. It is what it is. Hey, that's just my opinion. Next up, we have BioWare. Okay, back to BioWare. BioWare is still working on a Mass Effect and Dragon Age game alongside Anthem. BioWare have confirmed that a team is hard working on the upcoming Anthem, and there are still teams working on beloved franchises such as Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Now, I heard that they put this on hiatus, or not hiatus, so I thought they would shut it down or were never making a Mass Effect game again, which I thought was a little bit stupid, considering the fact there's a lot of fans still wanting it, and fans of the game, so it would be kind of dumb to take one of your biggest franchises, even though you fucked up one of their games, and never to make another one. That didn't make logical sense to me. I don't think any company would do that. Look how many Halos they've made, and people have been angry or upset or frustrated. They're still going. They're not going to not make them, because too many people love the franchise in itself. Even though they will be criticized regardless anyway. In BioWare's Midsummer update, General Manager Casey Hudson stated that we hear loud and clear the interest in BioWare. We are doing more Dragon Age and Mass Effect, so rest assured that we will have some teams hidden away working on some secret stuff that I think you really like. We are not ready to talk about this for a little while yet. I'm going to give it a big gaming event next E3. They'll talk about it somewhere on one of these big events. Blah, blah, blah. This should lend some hope to fans of Mass Effect series, which last year was said to be put on hold following the launch of Mass Effect on Andromeda. As Dragon Age, there have been rumours and small talk of a new entry, with BioWare writer Alexis Kennedy speaking about working on a new game in the franchise. Casey Hudson discussing an in-development new Dragon Age title will be a live experience. A live experience, I'm not too sure what that actually means. Does that mean it's being developed for VR as well, or it's going to be tagged on with it? Having said that, I don't personally like Dragon Age, or I never really played the game. It doesn't really appeal to me. I played Mass Effect 2, and I didn't like it. It was too massive of running around everywhere, pain in the arse. And then when I found out about Andromeda and everything, I just laughed, and the fact that they hired that dickhead who tweeted out about white people and stuff. He was basically a racist. I'm like, fuck that, I'm not supporting the game. My friend who loves the series didn't even pick up the game, and he was a fanboy of it. So that tells you something. So there's no way in hell I was going to be interested in it. Anyway, so I don't know, guys, if you're excited for the next Mass Effect game. Personally, I don't really care for it one way or the other. It is what it is. That's just my take on it. Dragon Age, as I said, I didn't really play it. Well, I played it for a bit, but again, it wasn't really my cup of tea or whatever. You know what I mean? I just didn't like it that much. I didn't enjoy it. I'm definitely excited for Anthem, though. I want to see what that's gonna bring. The next story I have here, and my final story, is anime news, and that's Ghost in a Shell. The anime, okay, will have 2 new seasons. Now, that sounds fantastic. Straight off the bat, you're like, oh, wow, 2 new seasons, that's great. However, they're only going to be 12-episode seasons, and there's 2 of them. So, the original series was about 26 episodes each, I think, 24, 26, and, God damn, they were brilliant, you know what I mean? Or was it more than 30? No, yeah, no, it was 26. And they were fantastic, season 1 and 2. What does concern me about this, how should I put this? The Arise series, which was a prequel before the other ones, apparently, will try to overcomplicate the series. Will try to recapture that kind of complicated storyline. But because Arise was only 4 episodes long, it didn't really work for me, or whatever. It just seemed crammed in, and it was trying to be what the original one was instead of going its own way, keeping it simplistic. It tried to be something to recapture that kind of brilliance, but you can't really do that in only 1 or 2 episodes, or even in 2 hours. You can't really capture the whole story of what Ghost in the Shell is, or how it can be implemented over a course of a season. We know that, everyone should know that. But so they have increased it to 12 episodes, which is interesting, but I still feel like it's just a knock-on, and especially, why don't they just make 1 season and make it 24 episodes? That's essentially what they're doing. They're making 24 episodes, but 2 separate seasons. So, I don't know. It's a positive thing they come out with longer seasons, regardless. Having said that, what does concern me is that they are going in 2 different directions, in theory. Unless they talk to each other, because 2 different directors will direct the series. So, Production IG USA President Maki Tarajima Furuta, revealed during an interview at Comic-Con in July, the upcoming anime based in Masahiro Shiro's Ghost in the Shell manga will have two 12-episode seasons. Kenji Kayama, Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, will direct one of the seasons, while Shiju Aramaki, who was the director of Appleseed, which is a great film, by the way, will be directing the other. The release date for the anime has not been announced, which I didn't expect it, let's be honest, to even, didn't expect that. Production IG previously produced Mashu Oshi's Ghost in the Shell and Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence films in 1995 and 2004 respectively, as well as 2002 Ghost in the Shell standalone complex television anime and its TV prequel original video anime OVAs and film. In 2013, Production IG adapted the material into a Ghost in the Shell Arise prequel OVA, which it later remixed into a television series. Most recently, the studio debuted Ghost in the Shell, the new movie, in 2015, with Ghost in the Shell VR Diver smartphone video in 2017. I never saw Ghost in the Shell VR Diver smartphone, whatever that shit is, but I've seen the rest of them. Dark Horse Comics later Kodishu Comics published Shiro's original 1991 manga and its sequel in North America. DreamWorks Paramount live-action film adaptation of Scarlett Johansson in Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, I love that. She was good in it. The story kind of crossed over between the 2, which got a bit confusing. It was stupid in that respect, but other than that, it was a really good universe, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope to God we see more of that universe, or the next film, if there's another film, I hope we do see more of it. So yeah, we're going to get 2 new seasons, 12 episodes each, shorter than the original, but it's welcomed nonetheless. My only concern is that there's 2 seasons, but they're going to be going into different directions. They've got 2 different directors doing this. One of them's going to be the original who did Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, and he's going to have a very vivid image and go this way, and we may love it and enjoy it. And then we're going to get the other guy's version, and I'm hoping that nothing really changes about the characters or anything, and they just tell a separate story. That's all I can think. And I hope they don't try and overcomplicate it, trying to recapture. I mean, unless they can do it and they spaced it out and it's really good over the 12 episodes, then that's completely and utterly fine. Or would it be a bunch of individual stories? Would it be a one-case season, or is it going to be a bunch of numerous cases with these characters? I don't know. It would be good to get more in depth with these characters, but at the same time, I think they're going to be going with the new versions of the characters as well. So we're going to get this fucking new voice actors, which they work. Obito works okay. I can even just about get on with the new Major, but even then, I miss the old ones in itself. Hence, I've got the unboxing. I mean, that Ghost in the Shell in the background there of the original seasons I unboxed recently. But yeah, either way, we're getting new Ghost in the Shell. I hope to God it's good. I'm happy they've increased the ratio of episodes and stuff to 12 episodes. Maybe I'm overthinking it, because the directors, each individual Ghost in the Shell movie or whatever I've loved, and they've all had different directors. It has never been the same director. But when it comes to the seasons, I I suppose it's one director, I don't know, whatever. It depends. It is what it is. I'm definitely looking forward to more Ghost in the Shell. That's all I can say at this point. And I will be buying them as a fanboy, unboxing them, and then telling you about them, whatever else. And hopefully they release them in one box set. I'm not buying individual episodes like I did years ago. I'm not doing that. Like for £20 you get 4 episodes. Fuck that. You give me a season, I'll buy the whole thing out. Having said that, there's no release date. It hasn't been done probably. It's got to be dubbed. Going to be out in Japan for God knows how long, and then it's got to come to the USA, and it's going to come to the UK. Oh, it's going to be a long wait anyway, so I'm not holding my breath, but I am excited for it nonetheless. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Links for that will be in the description below. You can check out my unboxings and more recent playthroughs. You can also buy a t-shirt if you want with my avatar or whatever that pops up on screen on a t-shirt along with my logo, INSANEBRIT Gaming, and that helps me out. And you can buy a cup if whatever, if you don't have a t-shirt, whatever it is. There's a bunch of numerous things you can buy there on Teespring. That will also be in the link in the description below. Anyway, guys, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.